seeing the future and the person responsible for leading the future of ASG Technologies. And this next speaker, if you could welcome to the stage, please, CEO of ASG, Charles Sansbury.
So one of the things that was said earlier is we've tried very hard to make this a useful event. That seems very obvious, but I do want you to take away from this event, we have been trying in all facets of the company to be useful as a vendor, as a provider of technology, as a provider of support and services. There's a lot of great material here. We've got a group of speakers largely drawn from our customers. So thankfully, you won't have to listen to Chuck or to myself for very long, because a lot of the stories that you'll hear today are how customers are using the technology to run their businesses better. And we actually had, our list of speaker opportunities was oversubscribed. So we actually had more people who wanted to speak about how they're using the products than we were able to fill. And then lastly, there's a lot of inspirational stories, a lot of really cool stuff that's happened. And so I'm looking forward to that. And this is Evolve 3.0. Evolve 1.0 was 2 years ago in Washington, D.C. We had multiple handfuls of people, which is more than several handfuls, but not a full room. In DC, a small number of partners. But at that point, ASG had actually never invested in having a customer event. So we had a core group of customers. We spent a lot of time thinking about how to make the content useful. We kind of kicked it off. Evolve 2.0 last year in Chicago, more than twice as big. We have a team that put on an event that was, for all intents and purposes, a world-class event, and got us excited about this, which I would term Evolve 3.0. Almost double the size of last year in Chicago, more than 4 times the size probably than Evolve 1.0. And it's a function of and an outcome of the work that our team has done, the work that our partners have done, the time they've invested. So thank you, everyone, for making this event a terrific success. So a year ago, we talked about the business being in transition, and ASG, the transition we were pushing the business through. You may or may not know that this past year was the 50th anniversary of the Apollo rocket program. And if you travel on Delta Airlines as much as I do, you've probably seen there's a number of videos on the Apollo program that you can get. And if you're stuck on a tarmac, waiting for weather, transitioning planes, what have you, you have a lot of time on Delta like I do. But they talk about the Apollo program and all the work that was done in preparation for those first initial rocket launches. And the concept they talk about is the moment of lift. And all the work that has to happen, and people do work, and you get the rocket on the platform, and then they fire up the engine and start shaking. And there's shaking and shaking, but no actual motion. And at the end, all of a sudden, as it's shaking and shaking and shaking, and things are going crazy, it takes off. There's that moment of lift where all that work begins to have the desired effect, which is vertical motion. And if you notice, it goes from shaking to kind of a very smooth transition upward. I talked about the transition that ASG was going through. Many of us had joined the company between 4 and 5 years ago. We came with a focus to improve product quality, make the company customer-focused. Really, we recast the infrastructure of the company, rebuilt our internal systems, very internally focused, rebuilt our internal structures with a couple of key design principles. First of all, we brought to that process a focus on being global in scale. So in the room right now are representatives from large global companies who require a lot in terms of product quality, service, and support from their vendors like us. We recast the company with a focus on being global in nature, being able to support a global set of customers. We rebuilt the company with a view of being built to scale, which meant that the systems and processes we put in place had to support not just where we were today, but where we were in 12, 18, 24, 36 months as we got bigger over time. We made sure that we built to standards. So we used available software standards, services standards. We put in place a brand new set of technology infrastructure, accounting, finance, IT. We put in place a customer support system, basically best in class in order to help us run our business better so we could help you with our products run your businesses better. And we did it in a way that we thought didn't allow for shortcuts. So we wanted to take the time, do things right, and make sure that we came out of this with a quality software company to service and support our customers globally. So I would tell you that we are no longer transitioning, we have transitioned. What I think you saw last year was a lot of incremental change to our product sets, a lot of directional statements. What you'll see over the next couple of days is probably the most significant group of product enhancements and new technology offerings that the company has ever delivered. New products and capabilities across our content business, across our systems business, and then a fundamentally new product, basically a digital automation platform that's going to allow our customers to build very content-centric business applications in a way that is, for all intents and purposes, revolutionary. That doesn't mean we're not doing the other stuff. One of the foundations that we built the redo of the company on was the idea that our customers, first and foremost, want the products that we sold them to work. Revolutionary, I know, but the view was, let's make that stuff work better, and then let's find some complementary product areas where we can expand the usefulness of our products to our customers in ways that help them run their businesses better. And I hope you'll see that that's what we've done here. How did we do that? Well, building software is hard. It requires a lot of resources. It requires a lot of engineering, and it requires a lot of stick-to-itiveness. At ASG, on one hand, we have the benefit of a 30-year history of being involved in some of the most complicated, most technically demanding areas of technology. And over that time, we built up a global customer base, which really serves as the foundation for what we do. As we sit here today, the business last year, 2018, did roughly $250 million in revenue, which means we're a big software company. We have scale. It's also the case that that scale has allowed us to build and support a global infrastructure to support you in the geographies you do business, in the languages you do business, in the time zones that you do business. As of today, we count our global team at about 1,100 people. More than half of those people are in our engineering organization, which means that we have a massive commitment to R&D, and you'll see the benefit of that when you walk outside these doors and go to the innovation station and all the product reviews that we're doing. And we've made significant investments in growth and innovation across the company in the last 3 years. So what I leave you with is we're a big software company in terms of our infrastructure, our investment, our ability to support you globally. But if you have a problem, if something goes wrong, if you need a fix, you can call Chuck, who runs our sales organization. You can call Swami, who runs products. I've met and heard both good and actually mostly good feedback from a bunch of customers. Big enough to matter, big enough to support you, but at the end of the day, we are small enough to care. We are not this global behemoth where we've got 17 different levels of our organizational structure before you have to get to somebody who can make a decision to help you. And so big enough to matter, but small enough to care. Every presentation that I do has a version of this slide in it. Now, the marketing team gets tired of the slides, so they change up the graphics and kind of surprise me. But at the end of the day, same slide, different graphics. The way that we thought to recast and run the business was built around two key core principles: doing right by our customers and making sure that we focused on our team. So under the theme of customers matter, people matter, that's how we've structured the business. So from a customer perspective, I hope that you see we are improving our existing products. We have invested in and built out a global support organization to better address and deal with the ability to interact and support with our customers globally. From a people perspective, we've invested in teams and people focused on the things that matter to you, in our product marketing, in our product architects, and our go-to-market initiatives. And what we find is that if we keep focused on our customers and our people, then the results seem to take care of themselves. So where does that leave us today? I want you to find at this event a company that has transitioned, that has a keen focus on product direction, product quality, and innovation, but not innovation for the sake of innovation. I use a term called pragmatic innovation, which seems counterintuitive, but what that really means is we're fortunate to have a foundational presence in the IT systems management market and the enterprise information market. We solve big, complex problems for global companies that are demanding consumers of technology. Pragmatic innovation means we're looking at how our customers use our product, asking them about where they want to go, Do they want to make information available via a different interface? Do they want to use that information in a new mobile-delivered application? But basically, in providing the technology that allows them to extend the value of their existing investment and support their direction internally. And so pragmatic innovation means listening to what our customers say, which makes this event very important, and then building products to help them deliver on that vision. Secondly, global. So we, at the end of the day, serve big companies in lots of places. There's an infrastructure investment and cost, which means that scale is important. We couldn't do what we do in terms of our global organization if we were a company that were a quarter of our size, venture funded, and relying upon the private capital markets to help fund us through this. So we're fortunate to approach this from a position of scale. And then I hope that what you'll take ultimately from this is we began the process of transitioning the company. We were very internally focused on getting our house in order, on running our own internal shop floor better. We're now at a point where we're transitioning to be more externally focused. Externally focused events like this, we're much more visible in all of the various social medias. We've done a lot more industry events. But also we're looking at ways to grow and expand our technology set and our product set outside of our own development organization. So we are increasingly focused on partners and partner opportunities. We've done a couple of small technology-focused acquisitions. We'll continue to look at ways, both organic and inorganic, to grow our capability, but really with the goal of providing to you a better, more seamless, more complete experience, whether that be in enterprise information management or in IT systems. So with that, I have an ask, and my ask is, we are here presenting to you a bunch of new things that we've done. I would ask that you take the time to learn. You're going to be asked to participate in some beta programs, to give us feedback, both good and bad, on some of our new products. I would ask that you get involved. Get involved, make sure that you provide the feedback that we need, because we can't do this, we can't run the play of customer-driven innovation without help and feedback from our customers. So with that, let me say thank you. We appreciate the time that you've invested coming here. We've done our best to make sure this is a good use of your time. And again, we look forward to a great couple of days. Thank you very much.